Hi guys, finally I'm live. I was just having some hiccups setting this live up. It's scheduled and I didn't know how to go live. Uh, anyway, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. So today I want to talk about Claude, but I want it to be about anything. Let me know any questions that you have with anything related to AI, and hopefully I can help you. Before we get into it, can you just let me know in the chat how many of you guys are using Claude? Just let me know in the chat how many of you are using Claude. Claude, right? When you said you are, uh, I hope I pronounced this properly. Reverberate Media Digital. You just started. Okay, great. And what are your thoughts on it so far? Like, Raven, are you using it a lot, or you just using it now and then? Like, in terms of using it, like compared to ChatGPT, are you using it more? Anybody using it more than ChatGPT? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I use it all the time. Um, in fact, just yesterday or a few days ago, also, especially when co-work was just released, um, they had lots of problems where it was going down a lot, but they sorted it out quickly. But the crazy part is when it was going down, um, I was so worried because I didn't know what to do because I've become so reliant on it, which is not a good thing. Which is not a good thing. But uh, anyway, it just showed me, like, how much I'm actually using it and how dependent I've become to it. And ChatGPT, when you mentioned you still use ChatGPT more, but for generating code, I started using Claude Opus. Yes, specifically the Claude Opus 4.5 model. It's amazing. I use it for everything. I don't think I even come out of Opus. I'm in Opus all the time, and I'm also have extended thinking on all the time. Interestingly, when you mentioned coding, what type of coding are you doing for apps or websites, or uh, what are you using it for in coding? And Reverberate, you wrote a script to help your client and they loved what came out. Yes, especially for of copywriting, it's amazing. I had a client recently in Dubai, and they never used Claude before that, and they were heavy users of ChatGPT. And once I introduced them to Claude and I created some agents for them, like Claude projects and skills, they actually told me that now they feel like they're actually using AI properly. If they have to think about how they were using it with ChatGPT, it was like, amateur mode, and now they've gone into the pro level, and they were mostly amazed at the difference in the output from the same questions that they asked ChatGPT and the same questions that they asked Claude Opus 4.5. So it's amazing and I love it. But the problem is, I think I'm becoming too dependent on it. And with them adding all these new features, have any of you guys tried Claude Skills? Claude Skills or Claude Cowork? Ahmed Rashid, nice to have you. I do a mix of Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity, and Notebook LM. Yes, but I'm finding that Claude is actually doing everything for me. I can do research, but deep research now in Claude. I can create presentations. everything. I can't find anything that I can't do anymore in Claude. But when I'm talking about Claude, I'm not only talking about the web part of it, Claude AI. I'm talking about Claude Cowork. I'm talking about Claude Code as well. It's amazing. So just tell me, is there a delay on the stream? You were simply exploring what apps you could develop, like a simple game or daily journal for now. And were you doing this in Claude Code, Rafael, or just normal Claude in Claude Code? Okay. And so, are you familiar with setting up the terminal to access Claude Code, or how were you using Claude Code? Via the terminal, via the web, via something like Cursor? At first, normal Claude, but I only got the paid version this week. Yes, the paid version is necessary to get the most out of Claude, unfortunately. And with um, with Claude Code, Claude Cowork, it's only available on Mac for now. And you have to be on a paid plan. Another thing is, like with ChatGPT and Gemini, for example, you'll get much more out of it on the free version compared to Claude. Yeah. Okay. Just setting something up here. I want to share something with you guys here. Um, Claude Cowork. Anybody use that? Anybody tried that? It's amazing. And the thing is, you want to get into it now and see what it can actually do, because they're just going to make it better and better. So the sooner we learn about it, honestly, the better it's going to be for all of us. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Yeah, so you can see my screen, hopefully. This is the screen you can see. I'm going to go to Claude.ai. The reason why I use several is technique. I call LLM council. They debate, critique one another until I get the best of all of them. It is interesting getting them to engage before getting the result. It's actually pretty clever as well, because then you get from it also. You get better results from it. I'm just having a problem with my internet. Uh, I'm getting a notification that my stream is unstable. Are you guys having any problems? Is it slow on your side, or is it cutting off? If you let me know, I can maybe try and change my internet. Always, I have this problem always when I go live on YouTube. Okay, so in terms of that, Mohammed Rashid, I want to share something with you also. So hopefully you guys can see my screen without any problems. So you notice I have Opus 4.5 on all the time, and I have extended thinking on all the time as well. Very rarely I do turn this off, but most of the time I keep it on. What happens is my responses are slower, because remember, once it's using extended thinking, it takes longer to respond. Yeah, thanks for letting me know, Mohammed Rashid. I may need to change my internet. If I do that, uh, we might disconnect for a short while, but I will be back, and I think I need to do that. So I'm just going to swap my internet over. Just bear with me, please. It's going to stop for a little while. Hopefully, just a few seconds, and then we'll be back straight away. Okay, hopefully this solves the problem. Unfortunately, South Africa, and here I'm in Pietermaritzburg. I'm experiencing terrible internet speeds today, especially. So I've swapped my internet. Hopefully, this will be better. All right. So I was mentioning extended thinking and Claude Opus 4.5. All right. Let me know if I'm back. Can you guys see me, hear me, see in or why in the chat? So I know that I'm talking to myself. I'm good at that, talking to myself. I do it all the time. So I don't mind it also. But just let me know. All right, because I want to share something with you guys and I want to make sure that you actually see it. Fuzzy. Hopefully it should be back now, Sherry. I just changed my internet and I tested it out. I did a speed test. It seemed to be much faster than my old one. Uh, this one is worse. Yes, you are back and better like you never left. Okay, Mohammed Rashid, thank you so much. Sherry, let's just give it a few seconds. Maybe it was still swap. Talking to yourself is a great skill. I know, and I love it. I do it all the time, and now it's become so bad of it. Sometimes I can be sitting with people and I start talking to myself out loud in front of people. Not previously, just it used to be just in secret, but now I find myself doing it even when I'm in public. So I can be sitting with people, and maybe that's old age also. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, great. Good now, Sherry. That's great. I'm glad. Hopefully, now that the internet is a bit more stable, I can start sharing some stuff with you guys. Sherry, by any chance, are you using Claude? Fazana, unfortunately, no, it's not. You do get 4.5 Sonnet, if I'm not mistaken. That's on the free version, but Opus 4.5, um, I think that's only on the paid version. But I got a solution for you, Fazana. Let me know after this call. We'll chat about it. I'll tell you about how what you can do for Claude 4.5 to get the most out of it. Um, anyway, so the most important thing or the most valuable thing that I use in Claude are Claude skills. Now, some of you guys who are on my weekly call, my group call, I talk about this a lot, but I wanted to share something with you guys. Like, Mohammed Rashid, you were mentioning how you get one LLM to talk to another. Like, and then you get them to see how they engage with each other and make your output much better. What I do is I use skills. So to access it, you go to capabilities, you click on your name, and then you go to settings, then capabilities. So what you can do with this, Rafael, is say, for example, you want to create an app, right? Whatever app you said you want to vibe code. You should actually create a skill first about how to create a proper app from start to finish as a vibe coder, so that it understands that now you do not have the knowledge, so the skill will have the knowledge automatically, and it'll go ahead and help you whenever it feels that you are struggling. And I'm going to show you how simple this is as well. So the number one thing you want to do is you want to go to example skills. That means these are skills by Anthropic, these are skills by Claude. Is this only on Mac computers? So skills, no. Skills are available on any machine. Only Claude Co-work, which I will share with you later, that is only available on Mac. This is available on any computer. So this is normal Claude on the web, or even Claude on your desktop. You get a Windows desktop app, so it'll work on Windows as well, Sherry. Hi, Nicole. Nice to have you here. Nicole, do you use Claude a lot? I know you use ChatGPT a lot. Do you use Claude a lot? So the one that you want to make sure that is turned on is this. This is the skill creator, and it's been created by Anthropic. Hi, Sai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sai O2 F6 from Philippines. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Good morning, Carlos. Nice to have you here as well. Nicole, you love it. Oh, that's great. You're just like me. But do you use it more than ChatGPT? And are you using Claude Skills? Carlos, you know I talk about it all the time. I love my skills, and I want to actually share with you how we can set some skills for ourselves. And we can do this whether you work a lot in ChatGPT or not. Carlos, you created 5 skills last night. That's amazing. But the most important thing is, how are you finding them? The text output is fantastic. That's what you use it for. Are you referring to normal Claude, like, for copywriting, or are you using the skills feature? All right, Carlos, I'd like to know how your skills are going, and have you tested them? Are they any good? I'd love to know that. And I'll share with you a strategy that you can use, Carlos. It's a good start. I can tell it what, and you can tell it will get better. Lucknowi's. Walaikum salam. Nicole, no skills as yet. Hi, Muniz. Nice to have you here. Posting content with it now. I saw it. So the post that you just put on LinkedIn now, was that created with a skill, Carlos? I saw that post on LinkedIn. I didn't read the whole thing, but I just saw it, a notification. I got for it. So, Nicole, are you on the paid version of Claude, or on the free version? So, I'm going to share with you something here, and I want everybody to have this. You're on the paid, amazing, right? So, then you'll have the skills feature. I want you to go into your Murtaza. Nice to have you here. So, I want you to go and click on your username in the bottom left, then click on settings. Oh, we got celebrities in our chat here. We've got John Asraf here. Thank you, John, for joining us. Amazing. Nice to have you here. So, Nicole, if you click on your username, then you go to settings. Hi, Gigi. Nice to have you here. You love Claude. You got the Pro. Yes. So, if you go to your settings and then you go to example skills, so you go to capabilities, then example skills, and make sure that this is turned on. That is the skill creator. Yes, we are live. You have created a few apps, Murtaza, like bank statement PDF converted to Excel. And have you done this like on Claude Code, or how did you create the app? Can you not see my screen, Gigi? Yes. Oh, sorry about that. Let me try this again. I thought my screen is maybe after I changed my internet. Just give me a second. Now can you see my screen? The screen is visible, but I turned on the wrong screen. Sorry, I'm going to change it now. Uh, I'm going to change it. I'm going to put the right screen on, entire screen. And thank you guys for letting me know. Right now, can you see my screen? And hopefully the correct screen. I think once I swapped over the internet. Okay, Nicole, I'll show that to you now. Now visible. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. It's sharing now. Thanks, Shamima. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here as well. Right. So, Nicole, starting off. So, if you're in your normal chat, right, this is your normal chat. On your bottom, in your bottom left, you're going to click on your username. Then you're going to go to settings, right? And then you're going to go to capabilities. That's what you're looking for. John, you wanted me to make my screen bigger? Let me know if this helps. That's the biggest I can make it. Right? So you're going to go to settings, then you're going to go to capabilities, and then you're going to scroll down until you see skills. Okay, perfect. Right, so you're going to scroll down until you see skills. Then you will notice you have your skills and example skills. I want you to go to example skills. These are skills created by Anthropic. Anthropic, they are the owners of Claude, so it's created by Claude themselves. The one that I want you to turn on, you can turn these on if you want. Like you can see, I have Canvas Designer turned on, I have MCP Builder turned on, but the most important one I want you to turn on is Skill Creator. Because what this is going to do, it's now going to allow you to create your own skills, and Claude is actually going to help you through the entire process, and that's going to make it amazing. Yes, Nicole, and especially for you, for your use case, like, copywriting for businesses, it's going to be a game changer for you. And the great thing about skills is, for example, yeah, right? I have a Meta Ads copywriter, a voice AI prompter, infographic generator, TikTok growth agent, YouTube growth agent, prospect intelligence. All of these skills, the skills is I can use them in one chat together. So think of them firstly as SOPs, right? Like these are SOPs for a worker. So think of them as a worker, and this is the SOPs on how they need to do their work. But you can get multiple workers that work together. And the skills that you create here can work on the desktop app as well. So in co-work, it will work there as well. You can create it here and use it in co-work as well. Is it possible to compare this somehow with custom GPT in ChatGPT? I have compared it, and the results I get from here are, I will let you know, Nicole. That's a great question, and I actually wanted to address it that I get a lot with regards to GPTs skills. And I will show you something what makes it completely different is, say for example, I'm in ChatGPT and I'm using this GPT, right? The one that I shared with you guys last week. So I can start and do is, once I start a conversation with what custom GPT, I can type the at symbol, and this will custom GPTs into the same chat thread. Like here now, I can now bring in this custom GPT if I like, right? But the thing is, I can only do this one at a time, meaning I started off with this custom instructions generator, then I had to wait for a response, then only could I bring in now this new one, which is the Accelerator New Year Roadmap, right? So now screen sharing has stopped. Why? Ah, what's the story here? It looks like I always have a problem with YouTube lives. Zoom, I think, I don't know what's the problem. Anyway, hopefully you guys can see my screen now. It's back. I don't know why. I have to stop it and start it again. So as I mentioned, like in ChatGPT, custom GPTs, I started with one custom GPT, it gave me a response, then I have to wait, then call another custom GPT. So I can use two custom GPTs or multiple custom GPTs together, but I have to wait for one to finish before I can use the next. With skills, say I have all these skills, I can use all of them together in one chat. So I do not have to wait for one to finish before I call on the other. I can say, for example, I'll give you a real life example. I can say, create me a TikTok script on Claude code, and after it is created, get the board of advisors to critique it, right? So now it's basically going to use two skills together. Now, another thing you'll notice, I didn't mention a TikTok skill. Can you see? I didn't mention skill at all here, but it automatically knew I'll create a TikTok script about Claude Code for my channel. See, it even knows my channel. How does it know? It knows from my skill. It says, let me first check the skill files to make sure I nail your format and voice. So just like this, I'm showing you, you can use multiple skills in one chat. So I could even give it one step further and ask it to use more skills. And I can stack all of them up together in one chat. And that's what makes this so powerful. Because as you can see now, it's using this TikTok script showcasing Claude Code. Then it gave me the script now, it wrote it. Hook, this AI tool just made coders optional for your business. Claude Code is not a chatbot, it's an agentic coding tool that lives in your terminal, reads your entire code base, and builds whatever you describe in plain English. Let me show you what that actually means. Right? And then it goes into this Claude Code. Look, I've built AI system for 7 to 9 figure businesses. Great. It gave me a caption as well. But then it brought in the second skill, which is my advisory board. Now, Mohammed Rashid, you were mentioning that you use multiple LLMs. So this is what I mentioned. You can actually get an advisory board, which is better, that will be able to critique the work that you're creating. Like example, right here. Now let me switch to the board of advisors lens and critique this content with full intellectual honesty. What works? Hook is strong, made code is optional, creates immediate curiosity gap and stakes. Structure follows the proven template, right? So I've given it this proven template. Hook, what is, demo, verdict, etc. Ties back to thinking AI is great. What needs work? Problem one, the claim made coders optional is defensible but could backfire. Risk, technical audience on TikTok may push back hard. Comments like, lol, try building anything complex, could tank engagement. Alternative, soften to this AI tools build what I described. No coding required. My call, keep the hook if you're comfortable defending it in the comments. The controversy could actually boost reach, but be ready. Problem two, you don't need developers is overclaimed. For simple projects, sure. For production systems at scale, Claude Code still needs human oversight. So can you see they are actually critiquing it, and they're giving it another problem. Getting coffee demo timing is unrealistic for the example given. Missing specific proof. Because I want my board of advisors to be no fluff, and they must actually tell me as it is. So I've done that. I've created them to do exactly that. So everyone should have board of advisors. Firstly, the main thing that you want to have is a knowledge base of yourself. So any LLM understands everything about you. And this you can use on Claude, you can use on ChatGPT, you can use on Manus if you use Manus. Anywhere that you go, if you have a knowledge base file, this can then be used everywhere that you go. And I use my knowledge base file in every single skill, whether it's writing a TikTok caption, whether it's for the board of advisors, because even the board of advisors need to know about me. I can put the best A players in my board of advisors, but if they don't know what I do, then it's pointless. They're just going to give me generic advice. I want them to give me advice based on me. What are my goals? Where do you add your knowledge base file in Claude? Great question, Sherry. So I'll give you an example here, right? I'll give you an example where we'll actually uh, create a skill called, say it's a board of advisors. We'll use that as an example, and I'll show you how you add in your knowledge base file, right? So, but can you see how it critiqued it? It gave me a revised hook. Um, did it write the entire script for me? I can just ask it to write the, want me to produce a revised script with these fixes applied, or are you good with this version plus the notes? So I can ask it to write it for me, right? But now let's go ahead and create a skill just to show you how this works. So for this example, we'll do the same thing. We'll create a board of advisors. Now give me some suggestions. Who would you like in your board of advisors? Right? So I will say I want to create uh, a board of advisors that will be no fluff, Alex Hormozy, Elon Musk. Great. I want to create a board of advisors that will be no fluff and tell me as it is. They should be the ones that take my business to the next level. All right. I'm just showing you this as an example. So I'll say, I want, so you guys say, I want Alex Hormozy, Elon Musk. Anybody else? I'll say John Asaraf. Anybody else? Anybody you can think of. I can say Gary V. Anybody, right? So I'm just giving you an example here, right? Say you put your whoever you wanted in there, right? Now I'll click on enter. But I forgot to mention one thing. Cody Sanchez. Okay, I'll put there Cody Sanchez. Great shout there, Shamima. Right, Cody Sanchez. So I want to create a board of advisors skill. I forgot to mention that. That will be no fluff and tell me as it is. They should be the ones that take my business to the next level. Pretty simple, right? I want Alex Hormozy, Elon Musk, and I'll say, give me your own suggestions on who you think would be a good fit, right? And now we need enter. Now, what it's going to do is, it's not immediately going to build it, right? So it's firstly going to understand, thinking about curating an elite advisory board, but I will be able to adjust this and tweak it according to how I want. So now I think this is a powerful skill concept. Mohammed, before I build it, let me read the skill creator. So what it's doing, it's using its own skill creator to ensure I structure this properly. Then I'll craft your board of advisors. Now remember, I can stop it at any time and tell it, let's just go back and forth and get ask me questions. So I'll actually do that. All right, I'll say, ask me some questions first so that we get the best possible skill. Right? So now I'm giving it permission to ask me questions. I actually it does its work before asking me any clarifying questions, because lots of times I may have missed stuff, and it just creates more back and forth. So it's a good call asking first, let me understand what you're building so this skill actually serves you. On the structure, when you bring a decision to the board, do you want all advisors weighing it at once, weighing in at once, Or do you want to summon specific ones based on the situation? Example, what would Homosi say about this offer versus board evaluate this partnership? So I would say number one, uh, do you want to summon specific ones based on? Yes, so I want to summon specific ones based on the situation. Number two, do you want them to debate each other when they disagree? I'm going to say yes, I want them to do that. And fundamentally, because they have fundamentally different philosophies on some things, that tension could be useful or annoying depending on what you need. On the use cases, what decision will you actually bring to this board? Pricing, partnerships, content strategy, product launches, hiring. Give me two to three real examples of questions you'd ask them. Now, what one thing that I forgot and that I forgot to do, and Sherry, you asked me where would I add my knowledge base file. Now, this is where I would add it. So now I would click on upload. I've got a new knowledge base file that I just created, I think today or yesterday. So can you see I even dated it here, 22nd of the 1st 2026, my knowledge base. So I'll upload it. Why am I uploading it now? Because now I'm giving it all the context about me, about my goals, about my businesses. So then it's not just a generic board of advisors just going to talk amongst themselves. They're going to do that, but they're also going to know everything about me. So here I'm going to say, I have uploaded my knowledge base for reference. My spelling is not good, but it's fine, right? But now, can you see what it also picked up? How is this different from your existing business advisory board skill? Is this replacing it, or do you want the personality driven approach as a separate tool? So I'm going to say separate tool, as this is just a test, because I don't want it to interfere with what I currently have. So it says on the roster, Alex Homosi, Mindset, John Asraf, Personal Brand Guidelines, Gary V and Homosi. What you're missing, Leila Homosi for Operations and System Thinker, or Sam Ovens, Direct Response, High Ticket, Dan Kennedy or Russell Brunson, Negotiation, Chris Voss, Leverage, Navar, given your 200K monthly goal, a mix of thing. So I can now, because it knows about me, it's telling me who it suggests. So then I want to say, add your suggestions as well, right? So now it's going to add those people. Now I've got to choose between Leila Omozi and what was the other one? Sam Ovens. Let's see who it picks, right? So now it's understanding now. So this is where you will upload it, right? So can you see, like you see even here, if I have a goal of for AI lead builder to get it to 200K month MRR, that's my goal. So I'll put it in there, right? So whatever it is you want to get to, the more, remember, the more context that it has, the better it will perform. So that's why in your knowledge base, if you have everything, have your goals, whatever you're trying to achieve for whatever business you have, like one business wants to do this, another business wants to do that, whatever it is, put your goals in there, what you want to achieve. Because then once it understands that, the output is going to become so much better. Right? And now can you see what it's doing? It's creating this for me. Cody Sanchez, John Asraf, mindset, belief system, neuroscience for success, high performance, philosophy, your brain is either working for you or against you. Reprogram it. Voice, warm but firm, connects business strategy to inner game. Signature questions. What belief is keeping you stuck here? Right? So now it's going to create these board of advisors for me. So it says elite advisory board of 8 business titans who give direct, no fluff counsel, summon specific. Okay, started working again. But is this valuable? So do you understand what I'm actually doing here? Just let me know in the chat. Just let me know in the chat. Can you see how valuable this is now? Because imagine now if you could have this board of advisors that assist you with everything that you do. Yes, Edward. So Ravian, absolutely. So you could even create like a board of advisors. Like if you wanted people that are skilled only in coding, for example, Ravian, you could create a separate board of advisors just for coding. So you're getting the best brains in coding, and you want to know how their philosophies, how they do their coding, etc. And they could be your board of advisors or whatever you can call it, something else, but specifically for coding. Does it make sense? So I like how what I've done is I've done it also for a framework for creating meta ads. So I've done research on. Let me give you a strategy here, right? I'll give you a detailed. I will share that with you, Nicole, on what's happening here, right? So I'm waiting for you to finish, then I'll show you exactly what it does and how you save it, right? And another thing I'm going to show you, if you want to make your skills and take it to level, right? So can you see now? It's created, done. Your board of advisors skill is ready. There's the 8 advisors: Alex Homozy, Leila Homozy, John Asraf, Gary V, Cody Sanchez, Dan Kennedy, Chris Voss, Naval, right? Board of advisors. Now, only one thing I want to change before I save this, right? In my case, I can also add designers, WordPress. Exactly. That's what you need. That's, Edward, that's the right thinking now. Because now you're going to become, or you're going to have the best of the best at your fingertips 24/7. And they're going to be able to assist you with anything that you do. And I'm going to share with you a tip just now that's going to make this even more powerful, right? But one thing I want to do, I want to rename it something. So I'm going to say board, rename it to, uh, what can I give it? I want to give it a different name because I don't want to confuse it with my other one. I'm going to say board of directors, just so I can separate them, so it doesn't become confusing here, right? Because I'm going to actually save this so you see the entire process. Now, what I want you to see also, Nicole, and for everybody else watching, what has it created? If you look on the right-hand side, it has created a skill.md file. .md stands for Markdown. It's just a format like how you get Word docs. That's a format of document. MD is Markdown. It's easier for LLMs to understand Markdown, right? So now I changed it to board of directors. So can you see, Nicole, now what is asking me? Copy to your skills. And then next to it, it has a download button. So what I do with this, I actually do both. So as soon as I say copy to your skills, or before I even do that, can you see on the top right, it also has copy to your skills here. 2 places. And then if I click on these 3 dots, I have download or view all skills. That will view all my skills. But before we actually do that, I want to show you what a skill entails. So it has one skill MD file. That's this file. Can you see? It's an overview, elite board of 8 business titans who have give direct, no fluff counsel, summon specific directors, or convene the full board. They debate, disagree, and challenge assumptions used for strategic decisions, pricing, offers, content, strategy, negotiations, etc., etc., etc. Right? It's a basic overview of what these people do. And then below that, can you see how detailed it is? What this board will not do: sugarcoat feedback, agree with bad ideas to be nice, give generic advice, avoid the uncomfortable question, let Mohammed stay comfortable when growth requires discomfort. So can you see below that references? If I click on it, now for this example, it only created one reference file. But for like bigger tasks, like maybe for your WordPress, Edward, for your WordPress suggestion, you might have lots of different WordPress styles. So it will create multiple reference files for every specific skill. So you think of it like skills within a skill. So you could have multiple reference files and it packages them all up together, and that's what creates your skill. So now I'm going to do this, Nicole. So I'm going to click on copy to your skills, and that's it. It's now added to my skills. But on top of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this file. And I have a folder on my computer for Claude skills. So I'm gonna download it there. I'm gonna download it in Claude skills, and I'll say new folder. I'll call this board of directors, and I'll save it here, right? So now that's my board of directors saved. Why am I saving it? Because there's two ways of adding it. One way was just by saying copy to my skills, but why I want to keep a copy of it, because if I want to use the same skill in Claude Code, unfortunately, Claude Code doesn't pick up the skills that you use in Claude on the web. So I'll have to manually add it in there. So I'll just upload the file, I'll say add the skill, and Claude Code will go and do it. Now, when I go to settings, and when I go to capabilities, and if I scroll down to board of directors, that's this one. If I click on these three dots, you can see I have try and chat, download, or edit with Claude. Or I can click on replace. When I click on replace, then it'll allow me to upload a file. And that's when I will upload my skill if I want to change it. Does it make sense? They are automatically enabled, but you can either call on them manually when you want, or they will automatically do it. Like, say for example, let's go to my last chat. As long as it's turned on there, it'll be automatic there, right? So when I started this chat, right, when I started this chat, oh, not this one, sorry, the one before this, previously, when I started this previous chat about the TikTok Claude script, I just said create me a TikTok script on Claude Code, and after it is created, get the board of advisors to critique it. I didn't mention skills, but because it knows, can you see? First, let me check the skill files. So it went and it used my TikTok skill, and then it used my board of directors skill. So you don't even have to say use the skill. Claude is smart enough to automatically pick up, oh, does Nicole have a skill for this? If it does, and this topic is related to that, let me use the skill. Does that make sense, Nicole? But now I'm going to share something with you that's going to give your skills superpowers. This is great, right? But I'm going to share something that's going to give this superpowers. So for this specific task, I use Manus. Now I'm going to see, right? So for this, I created, now my prompt was also very detailed. Can you see here? This is just my prompt for Manus. Can you see how long my prompt is? But basically, I wanted it to do meta ads mastery knowledge base, and I'm saying for AI agent training. Can you see? Create a comprehensive modular knowledge base covering every aspect of meta advertising. This will be used to train an AI agent that executes meta ad strategies for agencies, coaches, consultants, e-commerce businesses, and service-based businesses, dentists, med spas, chiropractors, etc. The knowledge must be actionable, specific, and grounded in proven frameworks from practitioners, right? And I gave it lots of things like my strategy of how I want, my top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel content, and then meta ads fundamentals. Now, even a creative mastery, and all of this is now part of my huge prompt. Now, right? You learn to create a different one, but now I gave it this huge prompt, right? In Manus, it went and it started doing the work. It did everything for me, right? And I'll show you that at the end. Now it created all of these files for me. Can you see? I even mentioned some specific people that it must use: Alex Tomosi, Billie Jean, Frank Kern, etc. People that are good at Facebook ads and who I wanted to replicate, but I gave it my strategy, and I said, now replicate it with them. But I also gave it skills on visuals. Can you see here? On visuals, on copywriting, on Andromeda, which is the latest Meta ads update. So everything. And now I just download all of this, so I can batch download everything, right? Only the one I won't download because this is my prompt. And then I'll batch download every single thing. And then what do I do with that? Now I use this as the knowledge base, and then I create a skill based on that. So if I go to my settings, I go to capabilities, and I go down to my skills. Can you see Meta Ads Copywriter? Same thing. I used all of that knowledge now that I got from Manus, this vast knowledge. Obviously, you have to read it. I went back and forth a few times, made some tweaks, etc. But once I'm happy with it, then I use that as the knowledge for my skill. And that's why I said this is now going to take your skills from good to great, because it has so much more context, it has so much more understanding of what you're trying to do. Same thing I do for this here, voice AI prompter. Whatever it is, the knowledge is the key to the skill. Remember that. The knowledge is the key to the skill. So you can have an idea of a skill, that's great. I can tell Claude to do some research on a particular topic, but it will never be as deep this. It will give me a detailed research, but it will not be anything compared to this. Right? So do you understand? That makes sense? And everybody should be using this. Honestly, it'll change everything for you. And that's why I love Claude, because it can handle all of this. But lots of people ask me, so does that mean you're not using Manus? No, it does not mean that I'm not using Manus. Thanks, Sherry, for joining. Appreciate you. Take care. Yes. So I'm not using Manus. It's just different use cases for different tools. Right? So I'm still using Manus, not as much, because lots of stuff I'm doing in Claude, but still certain things I need to do it in Manus. Does it make sense? Right. So now I shared something with you guys about skills. But if I want to take this even further, skills on its own is great. Shamima, even for you now, you want to create anything about your business that's repeatable. Create skills for that, for every single thing, even something that you could think is very small. Right? Use the skill. But there's one feature now that's going to take it to the next level, and that's connectors. So can you see? I have my Google Drive connected, my Gmail, Google Calendar, GitHub. These ones I recently disconnected, but I can connect them. Fireflies, which is the one I use the most, in video, Notion, Zapier, and then I can browse connectors, so I can add in other connectors, right? You see Gamma if I want, if I use Gamma. I hardly use it anymore. Hugging Face, this will give me access to multiple apps. um, Atlassian, Asana, if I use that, Bitly, Box, there's tons. ClickUp, Cloudflare, Cloudinary. Yes, Sharima, it's going to change everything for you. Already you feel that AI has given you such a big lift. This is now going to take it to the next level. HubSpot, Indeed, Jotform, Play MCP, etc., 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 right? Mercury. So there's tons of things that you can add in here. And then desktop extensions, these are ones that you won't even get on the web. For example, the desktop ones, if you're on Windows, it enables Claude to interact with your Windows operating system. Here you can get it to access your file system to read and write files on your computer, on your machine. Here, iMessage, because I'm on a Mac, it's picking up iMessage. Or it'll still show here, even if you're not on a Mac. But because I'm on a Mac, I can use this if I want. But I hardly use iMessage, right? Figma, Desktop Commander, Control Chrome, PDF tools, read and write, Apple Notes, Control Your Mac, Context 7. This is a, if you are doing coding, Raven, this is going to be one of your most important MCPs if you ever add any. Because what Context 7 is, up to date code docs for any prompt. So, what it does is, you'll give it a prompt, you want to do this. Claude might even sometimes use a strategy that may be outdated. If you have the Context 7 MCP added, it will make sure that everything it does is up to date with the latest standards of coding. Right? I can even add my Spotify, Excel, everything in here, Appify, tons of things. Can I use it to build tools that make accessible and automation on the Mac easier? That make accessibility, sorry, I didn't read and automation on the Mac easier. You know what's the best way to do this, Nicole, is to actually try it. But if you want to do something like that, I wouldn't do it in Claude Web, right? I would do that in Claude Cowork, because Claude Cowork, now time is up already. Claude Cowork is not like a chat. And that's what I see people making a mistake. I was doing this myself also. A chat is like your normal chat GPT. Even Claude, now what I was doing was chatting. Claude Cowork is, as the name suggests, it's meant for working. It's an agent. So it's not meant for chatting. You can do it, but that's not its core purpose. Its core purpose is to get things done. So, Edward, you said, what's the aspect of data security in terms of GDPR sensible information? Can I create also a skill for this side of the story? Exactly. You can create a skill for everything. And what you should do, Edward, create that skill and make it be very strict in terms of data security and GDPR and everything that you are concerned about. And what will happen is, when you are doing anything, tell it, if it doesn't do it automatically, tell it to reference that skill all the time, so that anything it's doing, it's going to take the data security into consideration. All right, does that make sense? Another thing I want you to do is, even whether it's on ChatGPT, if you use ChatGPT a lot, or Claude, whichever one that you're using a lot, I want you to just say this: based on everything that you know about me. You could do this in ChatGPT as well, right? Based on everything you know about me, I want you to research Claude skills and come up with at least 10 skills that will make my life easier and grow my business if you have a business, or grow your whatever it is, your, whether you are employed or whatever it is, right? So you could just use that to grow whatever you want to grow. You could even leave that completely out, just to make my life easier, right? So you could even do this in ChatGPT if ChatGPT knows everything about you. Now I'm going to click enter now, because Claude knows everything about me already. Yes, and that's the right way to use it, Ravin, because that's exactly what it's for. It works on your machine and not in the cloud. So you create a folder for multiple things. Say you want to do a task specific on a specific coding task. I will create a separate folder for that. So then when you know when you're working in this, it's only working on that, right? So can you see now what Claude came back to me and say, I'll research Claude's skills thoroughly and then design custom skills tailored to your specific business needs. Let me start by gathering the latest information. So now it says, now let me look at the skills already available in my system to understand what's built in. Excellent. You already have 17 custom skills installed. Let me review what you have and the skill creator template. Right. So now, based on everything it knows about me, it's going to suggest what skills it thinks I need. So, Carlos, this is going to be great for you. Raven, Shamima, all of you that said that you are going to create skills. Nicole, simple thing. Ask it this. Based on everything that you know about me, I want you to research Claude skills and come up with at least 10 skills that will make my life easier and grow my business. You can do the exact same thing in ChatGPT as well. Same thing. I can ask it the exact same thing here, right? Whatever it knows about me, it'll go ahead and do that. So if you feel that your ChatGPT knows everything about you, do it in ChatGPT. For me personally, Claude knows everything about me, so mine will make more sense to do it in Claude. But if you feel that ChatGPT is your tool, do it exactly um, in ChatGPT. Right? So he says, I'm referencing Anthropic Claude's capabilities as they exist today: long context, strong reasoning, structured writing. So it says, long form thinking partner for complex offers, sales page and proposal sanity checker, authority content editor, not a writer, client delivery summarizer, offer positioning stress tester, program curriculum cleaner, SOP writer from chaos, strategic decision brief generator, content repurposing planner, internal knowledge base brain, high level client qualification filter. Yes, and even if the AI doesn't know you as yet, you can upload your data and your information. Brand consistency enforcer. Here it gave me 12. And it's actually saying Claude is not your idea generator, it's your thinking stabilizer, logic checker, and clarity engine. If you want next, I can design one custom Claude skin as a reusable prompt. Map Claude versus ChatGPT roles in your stack, or build a Claude first internal operator for AI lead builder, right? Just tell me which direction you want to go. So even it did a great suggestion on ChatGPT also. So yeah, it says quick win. Which skill first? My recommendation: sales call commander. Let's just see what it gave me here. Sales call commander, LinkedIn authority builder, email sequence architect, case study factory. Right, John Asraf's recommendation: thinking AI methodology documenter. Right, that's my high ticket thinking AI. Course module builder, so help me to build courses. Content repurposer, offer architect, community engagement engine, strategic partnership playbook. Right, my recommendation: build these first. Every call matters at 25K. LinkedIn authority builder. So now I've got suggestions, and now I can then leverage this. I'm actually going to keep this, and I'm going to see which ones that I can create. But do you understand now how powerful these skills are? I'm not even going to go into Claude co-work. I'll leave that for next week because there's so much to share in there. It's honestly amazing. Do you guys have any questions? Doesn't have to be Claude related. Anything. Anything. Now think also what I want you to think about is creating your AI team. That's what it is. That's all I'm creating. Edward, you wanted to know if there's a recording. So on YouTube, it'll go under the live section on my channel. So the recording will be there, but it'll be on YouTube. Make sense? Unrelated, but you're playing a lot with Suno. Yeah, great. Did you see now 11 Labs has added that feature? Within 11 Labs, now you can do that music creator from there now as well. Like a puzzle, our AI team. But what you should do also, Nicole, Shamima, Raven, anyone Want to create this. You just enter the prompt into ChatGPT. What did it give you, Frazana? I'd like to know. I hope ChatGPT knows stuff about you. But what I want you to do also, Nicole, is you mentioned like a puzzle. Another thing that can become overwhelming is if you try to create too many at once. So I would suggest starting off with a few first, just to get understanding of, okay, this is what it can do. Then once you see, okay, now there's potential in this, then you'll become more confident, you'll have more knowledge on it, you'll have more skill on it, then you can go and create more in the future. Right? It's same like custom GPTs. And another thing, another thing that I see many businesses make, another problem that I see them commonly doing is they try to make one skill that does everything. And that's when it's going to fail. What do I mean by that? So, say, for example, linked sales call commander. They'll try to mix it up with, let's see, anything else based like offer architect or community engagement engine. So they'll try to put all of them into um, one. No, you're not missing something, right? So that's a great question, Shamima. I'm glad you brought that up. Claude still makes me start a new conversation when it reaches its limit, and I'm on the pro. Am I missing something? Other thing is, I'm not sure whether this is only on the max plan, but what it does is it compresses my chat when it gets too big. But for the last few days, it stopped doing it. Then I noticed from today it started doing it again. But to solve that, oh, but you do not have a Mac. But if you had a Mac, then you could actually use the co-work option, and then that allows you to create very long conversations. Yes, then put the information from chat into Claude. But just remember, on my mobile maybe, and not desktop. Same, your mobile and your web will be the same limit you'll have, token limit. Just that co-work has a different limit because it's not actually working in on the cloud, it's actually working in your machine. Yes, but another thing, Nicole, like you mentioned, you got different customers, but you have the same skill that's needed for each one of them. So what you need to do is tell your skill that this will not only be used for me or for a particular customer, the skill is also meant to be used for multiple customers. So then it understands that. If you are not upfront about that, it will not know. So in your use case, I wouldn't say create separate skills for different customers. If it's something completely different, then you'll create different ones. But say, for example, you're doing Facebook ads for all of them, right? You could create a skill for Facebook ads, but tell it that, like, now this is not only going to be for me, it's going to be for my clients as well. Only if something is unique to a specific client, then you will create a separate skill for that. Right? And then once you understand that you can connect it to connectors, then it's game over. You're going to be able to give you superpowers that will allow you to do anything. And that's how I feel with Claude. That's why when I don't have it, I get so frustrated because I feel like I don't know what to do. And when I go to ChatGPT, I try the same thing, I don't even come close to it. So that's also not a good thing because I'm too over reliant now on Claude. That's not a good thing. And Claude Cowork, Shamima, what I wanted to mention is it actually works on your computer. So can you see work in a folder? So when I say work in a folder, what that means is it's going to work in the folder. And as you can see, they actually tell you these tasks run locally and aren't synced across devices. So it's only on this device. Okay. I've also already repurchased twice in 1 month. Claude that never happened to me anywhere else. Do you mean you repurchased Claude twice? Am I understanding that correctly? Okay. Shamima, you're saying you should get a Mac just so you can get Coworker. I wouldn't do that just for that because it will come to Windows pretty soon. Um, just that if you want the same functionality, you can get it in Claude Code. In fact, Claude Code is more powerful than Cowork. Just that Claude Cowork, the interface looks much better than Claude Code. Oh, you mean you added credits, Nicole? So you doubled up on your credits. Yes, yes, yes. Now you can add credits to Claude. Yes. I forgot about that. I'm actually on the max plan. So I'm paying $100 a month and I'm finding that it's the best so far for me. So I'm not getting Yusuf Dayam. So, how to access Claude Code? Is it under the same account as Claude? Great question. Great question. So, and this can be confusing. Now, Claude has so many different products. It can become confusing. So, one thing I also want to share with you before we go, right? And I think this is going to hopefully make it easier for people to understand. So, how do you access Claude? Yes, I also have the Claude browser, and that gives it even more superpowers. Right? Yes. So that's a great question, Nicole. I'm going to mention that Claude credits as well. So Yusuf and everybody, this is something key that everybody needs to understand. Where can we use Claude? Number one is the web, right? Number two, desktop app. Then we have Claude Cowork, which is also on the desktop app. Then we also have Claude Code. Then we have the mobile app, and then we have the Chrome extension. Now, these are one, two, three, four, five, six different versions of Claude. And it can become confusing because they don't all work simultaneously. Does that make sense? For example, the desktop app has more features than the web. Claude Cowork is only available on Claude Desktop. Claude Code is only available in the terminal. Okay, sorry, I'm lying. It's also now available in the web, but it's very limited. So it's available on the web and it's also available in the desktop app, but it's very limited. Right? Then the mobile app, it has some features, doesn't have a lot of features, but it has voice in there. The Chrome extension, that is powerful because it now gives Claude access to your browser and it can go and do stuff on your browser. And then on top of that, I mentioned skills. They work everywhere, but they work independently in Claude Code. So that means your skills will work on the web, it'll work on the desktop app, it'll work on Cowork. Same skills. You don't have to re-add them. But the skill, if you're using Claude Code, you have to add them manually. Then you get MCPs, the connectors. They work everywhere, but independently in Claude Code. So Claude Code, you have to add them manually again. But some MCPs work on the web, some MCPs work on the web and desktop. And then some MCPs only work in Claude Code, they don't work anywhere else. Now, getting to your question about Yusuf, about how to set it up. So, Claude Code can be used in two ways. It can be used in multiple ways, but what I mean for two ways is in terms of credits. So, if you go to Claude Code, right, and you just download it here, all you do is you copy this. Now it's much simpler. Previously, it was really difficult, and you can choose. You want to use it on the web in VS Code, JetBrains, or Slack, right? The terminal gives you all the features. You just copy this, run this in your terminal, and it will install it automatically. Then it will ask you, Yusuf, it'll ask you, do you want to connect it to your Claude account? That is, the one that you use in the web. So then you'll say yes or no. because the two options you have is you can use it connected to your Claude that you're using, like maybe you're on the free version, it won't work, right? Remember that Claude Code will not work on the free version. If you connect it to a free account, it won't work. It needs to be on a $20 plan and upwards. But you can connect it to the Claude API. Like Nicole, you're paying for credits. Those credits are actually coming from the Claude API, right? But now you can use it in the API, and here it works on a pay as you go system. So you can say, for example, I only want to use $10. I only want to use $5. That means you'll only be able to use it up to $5. But you'll have to preload $5 into your Claude console, right? In your API. You can log in with the same account, but just your API, you need to buy credits separately. Does that make sense? Right? And then you're asking, if Cowork still uses Claude credits? Yes, it does, Nicole. It does, but the difference is it's different to code. Yes. If you connect them, yes. Dr. Dingus, are you a coder? I'm assuming you're a coder because you're using Codex 5.2. Me personally, I'm not a coder. So I wouldn't know which is a better coding tool. I'm using Claude Code for marketing and for running my business. Now, Codex unfortunately cannot do that. So in my use case, Codex is not even an option. But for whatever little coding that I did, it actually did a great job. So, sorry, Nicole, you meant your credits at Cowork is different to code. It can be different or it can be the same. I know it's very confusing. Say, for example, you chose to connect it to your Claude account, then it uses the same credits. If you chose to use it with the API, then it's completely separate. Claude Code and Manus, which can do better than the other? That's a very broad question, Yusuf, but it's a common question that I get. Manus can do a lot, but it's very expensive. You're going to eat up your credits. At one time, I was on the $200 plan per month on Manus, and I still had to buy credits on top of that. Now, Claude Code, I can get so much more done than that, but they're completely different in terms of who's the user target market. Manus consumes a lot of credits, but it's easy for people who are unfamiliar with the Claude Code, because if you're familiar with the terminal, I'll say use Claude Code. In fact, I will tell everybody to learn it, even if you are not a coder. It took me a while, but I'm still fine. I still feel uncomfortable in the terminal because I'm not a coder, but I'm much more comfortable than I used to be like 2 weeks ago. So it's going to take time. The biggest shift I had to make was actually working in the terminal. Just, that visual thing of, okay, this is the terminal. It doesn't look nice, not visually appealing. But for coders, it is. But for me, it wasn't because I'm not a coder. But if you have that problem, Yusuf, I would suggest learning Claude Code. Take 1-2 weeks. It's not going to be quick. But I was just watching YouTube videos. Then I even hired someone to actually coach me to, how to set it up. But the truth is, I learned more on my own than what they showed me. So Manus is great, very powerful, but it eats your credits up a lot, and you'll find some restrictions. One thing that is really powerful, that they made a partnership now, Manus and Similar Web. Anybody heard of Similar Web before? Anybody heard of Similar Web? Okay, so what Similar Web is, it can give you great Edward. So you use Similar Web. So now Manus has now partnered with Similar Web. So you can get Similar Web as part of your Manus subscription and you don't pay extra. So, for example, I could say, let me start a new task here. Yeah. Yes. So similar web. I didn't show it. Okay. I might have done it on the weekly call. Dr. Dingus, you can you give a quick summary on what kind of things you're using Claude Code for? Definitely, I can do that, right? So let me open up this document here. So, for example, let's use this business operating system. This is running in Claude Code. So it knows everything about me, my clients, my content, my finance, my marketing, operations. Then this is for my skills, but it understands everything about me. And then I can use it to run my business, run my finances because I connect them with MCPs. I can use it to create content because they connected again with MCPs to create images, create videos, and can connect to my Go High level so that it can go in there as well. Does that make sense, Dr. Dingus? Right? That's one thing. Another thing I use it for. Do you have any GPT to ease the use of Claude Code? You made one GPT for Manus prompt writing. For Claude Code, I don't have anything as yet, but I could have. I think I'll check up if I do have. If or otherwise, I will create one and I can share it. Uh, Dr. Dingus, there's another one. There's another example here. This one is my marketing team. So can you see here? I even built a site. Let me show you the site that I built. So can you see here? It'll have all the files, everything in here. Let me go and show you. So this marketing team. What did I do? Go back here, and I'll open this in the terminal. I open this in the terminal, and I'm not a coder, right? But I managed to create this just with Claude Code. I managed to create this website. Edward, I've shared this with you guys before. You've seen this. This was created fully in Claude Code. It helped me to set up the hosting, everything, all with Claude Code. I'm actually just going to sort out the links, but most of it is ready. I put it on my own domain, and everything was done in Claude Code. Now, for example, I can make any edit to my site. I can say, for my personal site, change the back to top to red, for example, right? You can see my back to top is here on the corner here. And now Claude Code will go and make this. Now, Yusuf, you know where I got this idea from? Anybody seen Lando Norris' website? Lando Norris, anybody who follows a little bit of F1 will know him, right? This was Lando Norris. So what I did was I just gave Claude Code that. I gave Claude Code that, and then I said, go and recreate this website for me. Right? And then I added it. So it's not exactly the same, but it did a good job for Claude Code and for me not being a coder, but it did a good job. And now, so now it says, I'll search for the back to top button in your element personal fight sites. Found the back to top button. Let me read it to see current time. It's already looking at the line 8. The button is already styled with red colors. Would you like me to change it to a different shade of red, or did you mean something else? So maybe it didn't push it. If you program it in Claude Code, will it be cheaper in the end than if you do it with Manus now? There was the great SEO adjustment. Nicole, I'm trying to understand. You say if you program it in Claude Code, will it be cheaper in the end than if you did it with Manus now? What are you referring to? Will it be cheaper in terms of credits? Or are you talking about the SEO adjustment? Now that's the great thing. Great question, Shamima. And that was my biggest concern about when I create something in Claude Code. How am I going to put it on a website? Right? Because we know about cPanel and we're going to host it because we used to WordPress hosting, right, Shamima? Edward, you'll know, you'll understand this. Nicole, you'll understand this as well. But that was my concern. But I said, now where am I going to host or how does this thing even work? And guess what? I So you said yes, with Manus you can implement SEO very quickly. You showed us that yourself. Yes, you can implement it very quickly, but with Claude Code you just have to do it manually, but you can get the exact same results. Does that make sense, Nico? Just that Manus makes it easier because you got like toggles to turn this on, turn that off. But with Claude Code you can do the exact same thing, no different. Just that you have to tell it what to do. Right? So Shabima, getting back to the hosting. So I actually asked Claude Code to find the hosting for me. And you know what it did? You have 1 year free of GitHub, Gemini Pro. I'm able to use GPT Codex and Gemini Pro inside of VS Code. Dr. Dingers, that's up to you. If you use it primarily for coding, then you already got a paid one and you're happy with Codex, I'd go with that. Stick to that. If you want to use it for other tasks, then you could consider Claude Code. So Shamima, and you guys were asking me how did I host it. So can you see here, right? It says the button is already red. So I'm going to tell it, I don't think, I don't think this change was pushed to my Cloudflare pages. Right, because I don't see it on the website. So all I did, Shamima, was I asked Claude Code to help me. How do I host this, or where do I host it? And it told me, it gave me some suggestions. Netlify, I tried it, but it was going to use too much credits. Um, the free version was very limited. Then it gave me a suggestion of see, can you see now? It's pushing it to GitHub, then it's pushing it to then it's going to push it to Cloudflare pages. Can you see? It's first put it to Netlify. So I'm going to tell, is your Cloudflare connected to the right repo? Check your Cloudflare broadcast. Yeah. So it set it up with Cloudflare pages, which is completely free. So I'm hosting this entire website for free. Hopefully I'll be able to see it because I don't even know how to get to that part in my dashboard. In my Cloudflare dashboard, that's why maybe it couldn't connect. So everything is hosted in here, Shamima. So Cloudflare pages, it's free hosting. I don't pay 1 cent, and I don't think I'll ever pay for hosting for this because they give you lots of space on a free version with Cloudflare pages. Just that I don't. Oh, there's it. It came here straight here. Right? Can you see here? There's it hosted in here. I can set my domain in here too. Custom domains. I've set my custom domain. Very easy to do that. It's active, and I'm not paying a cent for this hosting. So now I'm simply going to tell Cloudflare that this is. I'm simply going to tell Claude Code. Sorry, I'm going to tell Claude Code. Here is my Cloudflare link. I'm going to say I don't use Netlify. Remove that. I am only using Cloudflare pages because initially I was using Netlify. Because I actually thought that with Manus and all the rest, it would really get too expensive. Yes, Nicole, with Manus, it does get expensive. Fetch this document. So I'm asking you to do it. So Yes, event. So you can create this, you can host it in uh, test it. So you firstly I'll set up a GitHub account. It's also free, uh, but you can either set your GitHub to private or to uh, uh, to public. If you want it to be private, you can make it private. And then I did that. So what the GitHub, I'm not a coder, Dr. Dingers, you'll know better than us, but why I just pushing it to GitHub, so it actually has a copy there as well. So if anything goes wrong, I know I got a copy there as a backup in GitHub. All right, so it says remove the Netlify remote. I noticed that there looks like a preview development URL. Your main production URL should be something like dev or customer main. Would you like me to open your Cloudflare pages? Can you see? This is I'm very happy this happened. Can you see what is asking me here? Would you like me to open your Cloudflare pages dashboard in the browser to check the deployment status and find your actual production URL? Now, Shabima, if you get worried now, how am I going to do this? This is what it will do. I'll just say yes now, and now it's going to do that. And I don't need to worry. I don't need to know of the skills. It's going to open the dashboard. It's going to access it, go and figure out what's the problem, and go and solve it. Claude Code is, I don't know, it's very smart. How it does it, I don't know, but it's just really smart. Right? So the Claude browser isn't connected to you. The browser, you'll need to install the Claude browser extension. Manually check your Cloudflare pages. I'm going to say I do have it connected. Let me just see here. Maybe it's not active. There's Chrome. So it says enabled. You're a maker skill. Yeah, I did. Claude in Chrome works with the Chrome extension, so let your control. So it is connected and it says enabled. So I'm going to take a screenshot. But the only problem with Claude Code, maybe someone who knows coding will know better than me, but can you see I took a screenshot there, right? Now the problem is when I want to feed it the screenshot, like how you know how we used in Claude Code, we just click on the plus icon and we can upload files. Like for example, uh, here in Claude, I can just click on this plus and then I can upload a file. Or Coworker can do that. In Claude Code, I cannot. What I have to do in Claude Code is I have to go to this now folder that is working in, then move that screenshot that I just took now. Where is that screenshot? Uh, date added. Which one is it? This one. This one. So I just have to, or I can either copy it. I can copy it and just put it into that file here. Where will I put it? Uploads. I'll put it in here. Now let me just get this name. And now I have to tell Claude Code that I have added a screenshot in uploads with this name. There must be an easier way to do this. You will see that I do have the Chrome extension enabled. Right. My pleasure, Nicole. Um, yeah. So now, can you see now for the screenshot? Now it has to go and read that. I'll say allow for reading. It actually read it in the desktop. We found it in my desktop. But anyway, it's fine wherever it finds it because it's got the same name, or same folder with or the same file with in two different places. I can see the extension is installed, enabled. Let me try connecting again. And then what it'll do is now it'll go and connect and do it. And that's how I set up my hosting in Cloudflare pages. It went and actually did that. In your terminal, you should see the Chrome menu, click reconnect extension, make sure. Try these steps. In your terminal, you should try hashtag Chrome. Let's try reconnecting. So now it's going to reconnect. I don't know what it's doing, but anyway. Hopefully it has reconnected. I'll re-enable by default. I want to turn that on. And now I'll say try now. And so hopefully now this time it'll work. And it'll go ahead and do that work for me and connect it. But does this make sense now? Uh, they're still not connecting. Maybe I need to restart the Claude code, or maybe it's telling me my time is up. I need to go. Uh, I can use the plugin Playwright because it also has the Playwright plugin, but the Playwright won't allow it to actually do anything on the page. It'll only allow it to view the page. Right. Anyway, I think I need to restart my Claude code because for some reason it's not picking it up. Sometimes I have to restart it and you'll figure that out. But it's easy. Once you create something, then you just ask Claude Code, what's the next step? Or what's the next step? And what's the next step? And it goes and does it. Right. I don't want to do this because Playwright won't be able to do anything. It'll only be able to see the am I US based? No, I am not. No, I'm not. I'm in South Africa. Yes, you need to learn Claude Code now. Definitely, Nicole. It's going to give you an unfair advantage, especially in your industry. Shamima, same thing. Edward, same thing. Think about it. It's a business just with this. Imagine you could now go and create websites so quickly, get them ranking because you can do your SEO. For example, let's actually do that now. I'll say I want to optimize this site for SEO. And it'll do it. Now, if I give it much more information about SEO, which I will do in the future, it'll actually go ahead now and make those changes on the site. Yusuf, great question. How secure is it to upload personal or business information on Claude? Just like anything else, you have to take your own precautions and you need to think for yourself, like, what are you willing to share? For me personally, I'm not afraid about what info it knows, because whether I like it or not, they know everything about me. The part I'm worried about is it mustn't go and delete files for me. That's my worry, not about what they can find out about me. There's nothing to find out. You're actually not a developer. My background is in system integration testing and recently more in DevOps. Since coding isn't my main skill, it's nice to have tools that can do the coding parts. True. Yeah. And where are you based, Dr. Dinkus? You will check if I've already made videos about it in AI Lead Builder. Which videos are you talking about, Nicole? You're US based right now. Okay, that's amazing. So now I'm allowing you to do this. Okay, guys, any other questions? I need to go now. And Claude Code. Yeah, I think I should have some videos in there. If you can't find it, just ask my VA, ask Jailen. She'll be able to pick it up and tell you which ones, where they're located. But I'm actually going to make new videos on this, Nicole, because I know so much more now compared to what I knew a few weeks ago. Right now, can you see? I'm happy this happened while we're still on. Nicole, Shamima, everybody, whoever wanted to know about SEO, can you see now what it's telling me? Here's what I found for your site's SEO: basic metadata, title, description, keywords, partial open graphs, good heading hierarchy, image optimization with Next.js, semantic HTML, It's done all of this. Now I can go even deeper and say do extra, but it'll do it. Thanks, Raven. Appreciate you. You have a great weekend yourself. Yusuf, how to get notified when you schedule such sessions? Every Friday, same time. All right. I'm going to try and keep up to it. Just maybe in Ramadan, it might change. But for now, uh, until then, it's going to be the same time every Friday. Tomorrow, oh no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not around. But last week, what I did was I went live on TikTok on Saturday. Nicole, one more quick question. And you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel. You should get a notification there, or even on any of my other platforms on TikTok or Instagram. I send out notifications there as well. Or you can get on my email list. That's the easiest way. If you get on my email list, you will actually get a notification there. Subscribe. Yeah. So if you get on my email list, yeah, so from here, then you can get notified when I'm going to have sessions. If I'm maybe having a session that wasn't planned, I'll send it here. Nicole, one more quick question. Everything you write here in code still costs credits, right? Yes, it does cost credits. But honestly, on the pay, I'm on the max plan. I'm paying $100. I've never come to any restrictions as yet. I don't know on the $20 plan how much it'll get you. But another thing also to keep in mind is um, that you have much more context. Like, Shamima was mentioning earlier about, um, she gets a restriction and it tells us she needs to start a new chat. Now, in Claude Code, you won't have that. It'll actually summarize it on its own. There's tons of other features in Claude Code. Like if I just use this backslash, can you see now these are all my agents that I've created? Can you see YouTube, data analyst, presentation specialist, blog writer, business advisory board, creative director, legendary copywriters? Same like my skills, but they're actually agents in here. Chrome, and then you got too many features in here. I get confused sometimes. I had to stop using this because I was getting stuck into this. If I click on my MCPs, it tells you which MCPs I have connected. So can you see I have GitHub, but it says it failed, Notion, Playwright, Slack, Superbase. And on my other one, my business operating system, there I got Go High Level and I got some other MCPs for image generation, like replicates. You're on my email list. Great. Thanks for that, Yusuf. Hopefully I'll create value for you as well. Okay, guys. And if you're interested, I have a weekly community as well. I'll share that link in here. So on my weekly community, Nicole, Raven, Shamima, they part of it, Edward, right? I'm part of that. Yeah, Shamima, I was thinking of doing a TikTok live, like what I did last week. But I don't know if I am here at home, then I will do it. If not, then we'll see. Maybe next week. Okay, guys. I'm using Manus prompts to generate leads. They are amazing. Okay. Yusuf. So do I know you, Yusuf? Have I met you? Oh, I'm just trying to figure out where you got my prompts from. Get my AI to host it. Yeah, interestingly, I'll share something with you, Shamima, with you guys. You get, yes, we met online. Okay, amazing. You can actually send your AI to attend your Zoom meetings. Currently, it's only for 10 minutes, but I think they've expanded it. Or I think they have expanded it to 30 minutes now. So you train the AI, it'll look like you talk everything, not exactly like you, but you know what I mean? You give it a knowledge base. So if I train it on Claude Code, it'll attend the Zoom, it'll interact with you, anybody who's on the call, and take information from its knowledge base. It's called interactive avatar. Interactive avatar. I'm not sharing my screen anymore, but it's interactive avatar from Hagen. Interactive avatar that talks back. And now you can even add them on your website too, if you want. But they can attend your Zoom meetings. Currently, it's only with Zoom. I think they're adding other platforms soon. Okay, guys, take care. It was supposed to be 1 hour. We're almost gone for 2 hours. But anyway, so we'll chat soon. Any questions, let me know. Take care. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll chat soon. Bye.